you've already kind of paved the road. Successful people have. So you kind of go, oh, what's this person doing? And what's that person doing? And you start to follow people that are successful. And it's really in the end only going to make you successful. So I don't want to say an obsession, but it kind of became fun. Like I enjoyed the process and I enjoyed doing it because you see how it's going to make a difference. Like once you can start to feel that you're going to get results from it, you kind of want to invest more time in it and you want to just keep going.
Hey guys, welcome back to the VIP Financial Ed channel. Today I had a very special guest, Kerry Valentine. Kerry has become a dear friend, has been participating in the VIP coaching program now for, this is actually your last month. Her story in particular is going to be really useful to some of you guys because Kerry's W-2 wage earner, somebody that's working that consistent 9 to 5, isn't necessarily 100% satisfied with that. Kerry, why don't you tell us, what do you do for a living? What is your day job?
Okay, so my day job, I work in television. I've worked in television for about 18 or so years at this point. And I love what I do, don't get me wrong, but you know, it is that like 9 to 5s. A lot of times the hours are longer. And it's just, you know, you're up against the grind and everybody wants more time to yourself, more time to travel. You don't want to be told that you can't take a vacation or you want to spend time with family. So I kind of always knew that like, there's gotta be something else. And again, I love what I do. I love working in television. It's so much fun, but I am at the mercy of an employer who's, you know, kind of telling me, you know, who dictates my day-to-day, so to speak. So I've always
it was important to you to start to build some freedom where you would at least have the choice, right? Where down the road, if you so chose, you'd leave your profession, your career, and have the freedom to do so. How did you come across VIP originally? Tell everybody how we met.
So I actually came across VIP at my local RIA meeting here in Los Angeles. So my local Real Estate Investors Association actually had you come in, Matthew, to do a presentation for the group. This is something that I can see myself pursuing, really helping me out and help to get to that next level. And that's kind of what I was looking for. So it was amazing to be in the right place at the right time and be at that meeting and to have met you and have the opportunity to work with VIP. So it's been great.
So after that meeting, you came up and approached, I think I had offered a limited number of quick start discounted vacancies then as well. And I think you jumped at that opportunity, you and a handful of other folks. And what was that like? Because I'm assuming there was some level of sticker shock, right? When you're going from, you know, working a career and then choosing to invest in yourself, I would say that's probably the most common first impression is, wow, this is pretty expensive. Why did you move so quickly on that? What was your motivation for spending that kind of money?
One of the things that I've kind of learned over the years is it's about taking action, you know, and being an action taker. And there are things, you know, this came at a discount if I acted quickly. And because I felt so strongly about the presentation and I thought, you know, what do I have to lose? Like, of course it wasn't cheap, but investing in yourself, you can't go wrong. And I thought the benefits I could get from doing this would outweigh, it would be worth the cost of the membership of the coaching for the 2.5 years. So I told myself, you know what, just do it, move forward. And when you invest that kind of money in yourself, I knew I was going to do it and I was going to follow through. It wasn't going to be one of those things where I signed up and then I never followed up or I never did the homework assignments. Like I told myself, like, you're going to do this, you're going to dive in and you're going to stick with it till the very end, no matter what happens. And, you know, ultimately I'm glad I did because it's been amazing.
Well, and boy, oh boy, have you followed through, because when we met 2.5 years ago, so that would have been fall of 2016, probably?
Yeah.
How many properties did you own when we first met?
So when I first met you, I only owned my primary residence. So I only owned the property that I lived in. But I had been going to local RIA meetings and I had been trying to kind of take that next step and to buy a rental property. I knew that was something that I wanted to pursue. And one of the things that was so great about working with you is just having somebody on my side to kind of hold my hand at VIP who could kind of walk me through, not necessarily the process, but just to have a cheerleader on your side. And that's what VIP, you know, provided for me. That's been fantastic.
So how many properties do you own now?
So now I own 3 total. And I would love to pick up another one this year. And, you know, once you start doing it and you have that confidence to do it and you've got, you know, a coach supporting you along the way, that goes so far. I think the first step is always the hardest. It's just getting your first deal and kind of picking up that first property. But once you do it, you're like, this isn't bad. And having that support system that VIP provides has just just been amazing.
And you've done a great job also of accumulating these debt weapon accounts along the way, which has supported in being able to come up with down payments and making lump sums. And we've also obviously shifted mentality in terms of savings and having money sitting idly in the bank. You actually picked up another property in November, so about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that down payment is also already repaid, correct? So
Correct.
Now starting to see this cash flow stacking momentum picking up, and you're actually growing the pace with which you're doing things.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I noticed. I think just having one rental property, was great. But now that I got the second rental property and then picking up the third, I do think that it gets easier because you create kind of this snowball effect where it just keeps growing quicker, because you have income coming in now from multiple properties, and you take that and you throw it at the debt from the other, it grows exponentially. So I can see how just staying on this path is going to be really beneficial.
Talk to me a little bit about the mentality shifts that you've had along the way as well.
Right. No, absolutely. So when I first started working with VIP, I was kind of that saver, and I had money in the bank for a rainy day, so to speak. But after kind of diving into, the theories that you guys teach and just kind of the way of doing it, like it was almost costing me more money to have it sitting there because it's not working for me. So I did kind of shift my mentality thinking, well, you get these debt weapons, and the debt weapons can be your rainy day fund also. Like, heaven forbid you lose your job or something major goes wrong, have debt weapons to cover those expenses and those costs. And that kind of made sense. I was like, oh, instead of having my money sitting here in the bank that's not doing anything for me, I'll put that money to work, but I'm still covered for a rainy day. So it was kind of the best of all worlds. And these are the things that VIP has helped me to realize, not the old traditional way of thinking. My dad is very conservative. I was brought up a certain way, and you really only know what you've learned through how you were raised. So VIP just totally opened my eyes to another way of thinking. And at first you're kind of like, okay, is this going to be scary? But you just got to dive in and just do it and, go for it and see what happens. And I've had nothing but, luck and success with all these, I don't want to say risks because it's not a risk, but just these different ways of thinking. I have no regrets whatsoever in doing any of that.
Well, thanks. That's awesome. So my conclusion from that would be that you would recommend other people pursue it. I'm sure you would agree it's not for everybody, right? Because you've been very clear from the start of this review that it really required your action.
Absolutely. And I do agree that it's not for everyone. And to your previous question, I would recommend it to people, and I actually have recommended it to somebody who is doing coaching with you guys as well. But I did think it was a good fit for that person. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because I think a lot of people, they just want that 9 to 5. They don't want to think outside the box. They want just security and comfort, and they don't want to think about, I knew that I didn't just want to be average. Like I wanted to, be above average as far as like my success and my quality of life and like things that I want to do in life. And I knew to get there, I couldn't just have my 9 to 5 job, and I had to pursue other ventures. And that's what VIP's helped me do. But some people don't want that, and it's not for them, or they don't want to spend the money and invest it in themselves, which isn't going to get them anywhere than where they're already at. But people are content with that, and that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just knew that wasn't me. I've always wanted more, and I like to push myself and see what I can do. And so, having the support has been amazing.
How much time have you committed on average each month?
It kind of depends. So going after debt weapons and kind of doing research and homework, and I would really dive in and call the banks and just get as much information. And in fact, I even had some of the banks say, wow, you ask amazing questions. Like I've never had anybody ask some of these questions before. You really care, but it's about being thorough and doing your homework. And it's one of those things where the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. So, some months would just be a couple hours a week. But if it was, if I was calling banks to find out about their, debt weapons or products that they had to offer, I wouldn't just call 2 banks and pick the better of the 2. Sometimes I was calling 5, 6, 7 banks, but like people don't have to if you don't want to. But it kind of became, I don't want to say an obsession, but it kind of became fun. Like I enjoyed the process and I enjoyed doing it because you see how it's going to make a difference. Like once you can start to feel that you're going to get results from it, you kind of want to invest more time in it, and you want to just keep going. It
becomes a lot of fun.
It is fun. Yeah.
That debt weapon cheat sheet help you while you were asking these questions of the banks?
Oh, it was tremendous. I mean, those cheat sheets, I was asking questions that I would have never thought to ask. And in fact, I learned a lot by those cheat sheets too, because there were things I didn't even know what it meant. So I was kind of looking it up, or I'd have a conversation with my coach about like, what does this even mean? It's not rocket science, but at the same time, if you've never done that before, there are terms that are used or things that come up that you don't, and I like to fully understand what I'm getting into. So I do tend to kind of ask a lot of questions because I want to make sure that I'm understanding everything. But the tools that VIP has given me and the cheat sheets, and I mean, it's great.
How much has the YouTube channel played a role in your ongoing education?
The YouTube channel, I feel like they go hand in hand, because I have conversations with my coach and then I watch all the videos and stuff that come out on YouTube. But the YouTube channel has opened me up to kind of other ideas. And one of the things I love about the YouTube channel is you're very open with what you're up to. And it's one of those things that I believe in, like successful people, you've already kind of paved the road, successful people have. So you kind of go, oh, what's this person doing? And what's that person doing? And you start to follow people that are successful. And it's really in the end only going to make you successful. So I enjoy whenever a new video comes out on the channel, I'm always watching it. Sometimes I'll talk to my coach about it and say, hey, on the channel, I heard that, it gives more, it's just, there's more opportunities and options, I feel like, that are presented.
This kind of sparks ideas, gets you thinking, and then you come into your sessions with questions and thoughts about directions you could go and how you might be able to mix up your progress and so and so forth. I mean, because I think even according to the notes, you're even starting to consider some short-term rental stuff. So it's just more about an expansion.
Exactly.
Right. And I agree. I always tell people it really does go hand in hand. It's important. To try and keep it simultaneous, not just, coaching's not a replacement for the education that we have on the channel.
Right.
I really want to thank you for your time. So are you going to continue coaching, do you think, beyond the 30 months?
I absolutely am, only because I've seen such great results. And like I said, for me, it's about having kind of that support system. And because I've had results, I don't want it to stop. I think that there's so much to still be learned and to discuss, and there's so many avenues to go with everything that I'm absolutely going to continue with the coaching beyond this first session, or my last session here.
Cool. Well, we're so honored to part on your team. We've got Carrie, who's on her 29th month of coaching at this point. So she's on the very tail end of a 30-month term, and is our typical coaching term. As with many people, she's going to choose to continue, it sounds like, which is fabulous. We want to continue to help her journey to wealth and freedom of choice. You can certainly continue to stay with your career, Carrie. We would love it if you did that just because you loved it, not because you needed the money. Guys, if you have not claimed your one free coaching session, that's the best place to start. Obviously, there's a wait for those because the waiting list just keeps growing as demand grows, as this channel grows. But you can always choose to skip the line if you want to just go ahead and get started and take control of your money. If you're serious and you're saying, hey, I'm sick and tired of where I am, then definitely go ahead and get started. What happens at that point is you'll get jumped to the front of the line. We'll carve out a space for you and I to talk directly. We'll go through an assessment conversation and take a really close look at the specifics. I want to look at the mathematics. We're going to take a look at what mentality needs to be present in order to be successful working together over 30 months, as with Carrie's situation. And if at that point we determine it's not a compatible fit, we just simply refund you your tuition and we void the membership, at least temporarily. So there's really nothing to lose. No time like the present. I can tell you right now, 10 months from now, you'll just be 10 months older. Nothing gets easier as we get older. I'm telling you, you have to start. You will be thankful. The older version of you will be thankful for the younger version of you if you're taking action. So make sure the older version of you is pleased with the action that you are taking. And until we see you on the next video, Carrie, thank you so much. We're really, really grateful for you. I'm certain it's going to be helping people. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Until then, make it a great day.